Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone to another episode of our weekly podcast called Empowered Abroad. So this week we have another guest. Finally, we have a guest physically present over here and not in Zoom. The guest's name is Aman Likhwani. He's a student who empowered himself abroad. The purpose of this podcast, like I say on a weekly basis, is to share the international students' journey of those who go abroad and empower themselves to wherever that destination may be, the US, UK. And it's not necessary that it's a student who goes through us. Any student who goes abroad and takes that leap, we interview them and try to understand the journey. So today we have Aman. Thank you so much for joining us today in the podcast. So Aman, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
So my name's Aman Lakwani, and I studied my O levels in links. After that, I went to Nixon College. It was actually a bit interesting going to Nixon College because in links, my graduating class, I total 24 students, literally total 24 students, and in Nixon, my one class had 60 students. So like the jump was crazy, like getting used to the environment and like just socializing, networking. It's a big difference, but I feel like it taught me a lot. It taught me like how to meet new people or interact with new people. As a good experience will help me in the future.
Okay, I mean that's a common thing with a lot of students because colleges have a lot of students comparatively
Hmm.
to schools. So even when I was in school, I was in Bayview High, so there was about 20-25 students, and then I went to Bayview College, so the number of students wasn't a big jump, but
Hmm.
generally in Nixer, Cedar, KGS, Lyceum, the jump is quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it can be a bit intimidating. So I want to jump back to your O level life because you applied to US and US holds a lot of importance in your O level grades, right? So, what grades did you have in O levels, and what kind of extracurriculars did you participate in?
So in O levels, I had five A stars and five A's, and in O levels, I had quite a few extracurriculars. I had community service at an orphanage called Siratul Jinnah. I had like 30 hours there,
Okay.
and then I also played some basketball. I r- I had rowing. I also played golf as a pastime. So yeah, quite a few, including like as also MUN. I traveled to Jordan, to Amman for like MUN.
What kind of MUNs did you do? Because I was actually auditor's head in my high school time, and then in my A level time, I went to Munter, if you know, in Turkey.
Oh, I've heard
Uh,
of it, but no, I went.
s-
I went to Amman, Amman MUN or something.
Oman, I think.
Amman
Oh,
in
in
Jordan.
Jordan. Okay,
Yeah,
Aman.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice. So, did that help you when you came to A level, the extracurriculars and all?
They did. I feel like MUN made me way more confident because, like, I think without MUN, I wouldn't be able to speak in public or like I wouldn't be able to interact with new people or be a bit intimidated. But definitely, MUN helped me. Rowing also helped me a bit, like teamwork and all. So all these did help me for sure.
Mhm. And what were your grades in O level?
All of five A stars, five A's.
Okay, so you go into A level at that time. A lot of students have this question that should they have their career sorted in terms of what they want to do and what they want to study, or did you have any idea?
I still have no idea, to be
Okay,
honest. I still have no idea. I'm like a very go with the flow type of guy,
okay,
like one step at a time.
yeah.
So honestly, people who say like you should have a career sorted, you should know what you're doing. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm like, what, life will take you where it's taking you.
Uh,
But obviously, you should have be a bit planned, like not too like how do I say it? You shouldn't be like unplanned. You should be planned. Like you should know what you're doing basically. But like you don't need to know what exactly your career is.
mhm. So you come to A level. What point of being in A level did you then know that where you want to apply, what unis you want to apply, what country you want to apply for?
So I always had a thing since I was like a kid. I want to go to UK to study, but then obviously applied to the UK and US. Also applied in Pakistan for safety, just to keep my options open. But I got into UT Austin, the US, and then I obviously spoke to many people, like my cousins, my friends. And after hearing the suggestions, I definitely think US is the place to go, especially Austin. I've heard it's one of the best student life cities in America. So
I mean, yeah, that's for sure. UT Austin, for those who don't know, it's ranked in the top 100 in the world. I think, according to QS ranking, if I'm not mistaken, it's 57th or 58th in the world, and that's worldwide. In the US, it's I think top 30 in the world, top 30 in US. So it is a very high-ranking university to be a part of. Definitely, you also applied for UK. So,
yeah.
what was your motivation behind applying for UK, and what universities did you apply to?
UK was always my first choice. UK was always my first choice. I applied to Manchester, Leeds, Nottingham Kings, and UCL. I still haven't heard my replies from UCL though,
Wow.
so that's what I'm waiting on. But again, the thing with UK is it's condition offer, right? It's always a big risk. Like, what if? Because CI after all is one exam, and it's like something can go wrong, right? Maybe that day you're sick, or something can just go wrong, and if you mess the paper up, you mess your grades up, you'll not be able to go to the university. That's the issue with UK. It's a big risk which I'm taking.
Yeah, no, that is true. So for those who don't know, right, this is also informational podcast, so it's good if as much as information students can get to know. Uh, so point of information is that for US you don't really need your A levels, right? It's on the basis of your O levels because that's equivalent to your high school in US system. And for A levels, if you have a really good A level grades, if for example you have triple A's in your A level and you complete it and go to US, you can also get credit exemptions, right? So it's a credit based system in the US. So if you get three A's, it's possible that one semester, even up to 1 year, you can get your credits exempted. Of course, it depends university to university and the ranking of the universities too, but credit exemptions is a big possibility. So it's possible that if you have good A level grades and you're going to US, then after you graduate, you can have complete your degree, a 3 year degree in 2 years or a 4 year degree in 3 years. So it's a reason why a lot of people apply to US. It saves you the hassle of being tense about your A level grades. And if you have strong O levels and extracurriculars like Aman did, then there's a high chance you can get into a lot of good universities over there. Okay, so Aman, you applied to a lot of universities in US. Can you just state some of the universities you applied to, and then of course you end up choosing UT Austin? So
Yeah.
what is your motivation behind that?
I applied to New York, NYU, Michigan, Miami, and UT Austin. So I chose first of all NYU. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to New York to study because there's no campus life. If you
Yeah,
really think about it,
yeah.
right? It's a crowded city. It's like a busy life. There's no really campus life, no university life. So that's out of the question. I'm still waiting on the Michigan decision.
Okay.
Okay, but again, I feel like Michigan weather in the winters it gets quite cold. Like I think it goes in the minus,
Yeah, it does. It does.
right? And then Miami, I did get into. I think I got into a $25,000 scholarship as well.
Oh wow.
But compared to UT Austin, I don't think really Miami is any comparison.
Mhm. So, you told me earlier that you are planning to study data science. Of course, in US, you have the liberty to take
Mhm.
1 year to then choose whatever major you want to study. Uh, so, why specifically UT Austin, first of all, and what motivated you towards data sciences?
So okay, so in the UK, I applied for finance because like data science is something I want to try, I want to explore, and I applied to for data science in the US. So because I know I have the liberty of always switching my major if I cannot do it or if I don't like it. Specifically UT Austin because I think it's ranked one of the highest in the city for in the country for data science, computer science, and also finance to be honest. So that's why I'm like, why not just go for it? Like try it.
Okay, that makes sense. So, why data sciences? Why did you select that in general?
Again just to like try like try something new,
Mhm.
though I feel like the world's moving way towards to AI computers, and this is the field to go into.
Okay. So, what subjects did you have in A levels?
I chose econ, physics, and maths. I chose these three because I was trying my options open, to be honest. Physics, maths, econ, I can go into finance, I can go into engineering in abroad, and that's a lot of options open, all the tier one subjects, so like why not.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll come towards Empower's role in your entire application process. When did you get enrolled with us, and how did you initially hear about us?
I got enrolled in I think August last year,
Okay.
and I heard about you guys through a cousin of mine actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so
Who's that?
no, it's like a family friend. I don't know the name of
Oh,
the
okay,
student, but like I know
okay,
like the
okay,
mother or
okay, okay,
something. So like
okay,
yeah, my mom told my her mom told my mom. I think he got
okay.
into Boston. I think he got into
Yeah.
Boston Uni.
Okay, 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 okay.
So that's how I got into it.
Okay. So, how was your initial contact with? Who was it with, and
It
how's
was
your
a
initial?
Danish.
Okay, okay.
It was a Danish, and then I came. It was really good first meeting. He explained everything pretty well. He already told me the price estimate, so like I had something to mind, something to keep in mind. And he told me the whole visa processing. If it's easy, it's difficult. Also, like when I came, I thought of why not going to Europe, like Italy or like Spain or
Mm-hmm.
something. And he told me like there's literally no point. Like
Yeah,
most of the course are in Italian or Spanish. If you go
yeah,
there, it's a waste of time. So like
yeah.
he cleared my mind up a lot.
Hmm. Okay, that's always nice to hear from students, and also European countries, right? The issue is, which a lot of consultants actually promote Europe as a country to go to. It's not that the standard of education is extremely low; it is genuinely the language barrier, and the language barrier in the sense of, okay, let's just say LUMS, right? You have LUMS over here in Pakistan. They have a complete English-based course. So does IBA, top tier universities here in Pakistan. But we are Pakistani students. The professors, teachers at time would just naturally switch and start talking in Urdu, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's common. The same way in European countries, they would just switch and start talking in the national language, and the locals, because majority of them understand, it would just make sense to do so. So that is the issue. So it's very hard to culturally and academically immerse in a country when there's always languages switching around. That's the biggest issue, and that's the biggest reason why a lot of students who we had placed prior a few years ago when we dealt in Europe would come to us and be like, "Can we have switches to UK and US because of this cultural issue?" So that is a big reason behind a lot of people wanting transfers from Europe. But coming back to you, so you come, you start your application process through us. In US, as we know, there's a very lengthy application process, right?
Way too long. Way too long.
So you have supplementary questions, you have personal
Yeah.
statements, you have to fill out all the details regarding your extracurriculars. In that regard, how are we of help for our team?
So my case was handed over to Ryan,
Okay, okay,
and I couldn't ask for a better person.
okay.
Honestly, he helped me so much with my essays, with my supplementaries, with my personal statement. It was insane. Like I don't think if I feel like if I didn't come for counseling, there was no way I was going to get into any university. He told me, like, he gave me ideas about my personal statement, about each and every supplement essay. He edited for me. He just helped me a lot. Like honestly, I don't think there's a better person I could have asked for.
Raj is one of our counselors and also a graduate from UCL himself,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, most likely do. So it does definitely help having someone who already has international experience. And a plug regarding our company too. One of our special points is the fact that we have international students, right? Like
Mhm.
I myself graduated from a national university, and Rayad from UCL, Danish Bhai, who was our CEO from St Andrews in Manchester before that. So it helps when you have international students so we can relate to your application process also. It's not just that we know the facts and information, it's also a fact of relatability.
Exactly.
So I think that really does help. So it's good to know that you had a good application process going towards your US applications. Uh, what I want to ask you next is that data science, and then you say that you're not sure, you might want to switch to finance
Yeah.
when you go to US. What are you planning for the future? Do you have any future aspirations?
Not really, not right now. The thing is, I don't know about my career right now. I just want
Uh,
to go. If I enjoy it, maybe pursue career in data science, right? But if I don't enjoy it, switch to finance, pursue career there. Like we don't know yet.
uh. So in US, you get a post-study work visa, right, which allows you to
Mm-hmm.
basically spend 1 year and then 2 additional years if you have a STEM subject in the US. So within those 1 to 3 years, would you will that time to try to get internships, job experience
Oh,
within the
definitely,
US?
definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
okay, and why is that?
Uh, Firstly for the visa, obviously, when post work visa, and to get internships, to gain job experience, to increase my CV. So like further on in the future, I can get better job opportunities. And also about the thing in UK, right? You do get. I feel like I've heard you get 2 year post work
Yeah, yeah, you do,
visa,
you do, you do.
but I
Yeah.
feel like the economy. I've heard that the economy is so down and job opportunities are so difficult. That's why again, US. I chose US over UK. That's one reason I chose US over UK. And yeah, about the internships and all, just for increasing my CV to gain job experience, to like meeting new people, socializing, networking.
So, like, do you plan on doing any internships or anything like that during your university life?
Maybe not in the first semester,
Okay.
but like as I move on, I might start as a part-time job, like
Okay.
obviously, because I can't just depend on my parents
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
them,
for
right?
sure.
So like I need to earn my own also.
That's
So
really good.
first semester will be like a bit chill, and then after that, I start looking for something.
Okay, okay. Yeah, in UK you also do have 2 years. The economy, yeah, it is slightly down. I have a friend of mine. I don't know if you'll be watching the podcast. Who right now just got a legal job in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, he did his bar from there, and he just got a job. And our counselor too. When he was in the UK, he was doing a lot of internships, and he had a lot of job opportunities come his way too. In the UK, right? You dealt with him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, it's all about how you portray yourself and your experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the type of person who would do internships and get experience every semester where he got an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
He's that type of person. So for those type of people, there will always be opportunities. It's just about how much like work you put in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same for US also. If you get your job experience, your internship experience, then it would be of course easier for you to land a job. There's always limitations, sadly, on international students, but I don't think it's closed off for anyone. So
Okay.
there'll always be opportunities if you are in UK or the US. Okay, we won't make the podcast too long, but I do want to ask you, what suggestion would you give to those who are applying to US? Any tips, tricks? I think it's better coming from a student.
Start early. Don't wait
Okay.
till the last moment, because supplements will kill you. And your essays need to be good. If your essays aren't good, you're not getting admission. The US universities take a lot of the S they meet the S of the essays are to basically great importance. So just start early, plan your essay, make a draft, and just go for it.
For those who don't know, what are supplementaries?
Basically, so for US you apply through Common App, and there's one personal statement which every university takes. Right, that's just the one main essay, and then each university has like they have two questions, essay questions, which you basically average of two, which you have to answer or like write an essay about like the experience or like some topic they'll give you, and that's what supplementary is.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And it of course differs from university to university. The
Mm-hmm.
supplementaries, there's one Common App personal statement, and that's general. Common App is basically a portal equivalent to UCAS for UK, which allows you to apply to all the US universities. Of course, there are different portals according to the states you apply to in US also, but the general one where you can apply to all the universities is Common App. Uh, Another thing I wanted to ask you in regards to the Common App and application processes, that where in the application process would a student find the importance of extracurriculars? Like where would they have to put in the extracurriculars and show how important that
Oh,
is?
there's a full section just based for extracurriculars,
Okay.
special section only for extracurriculars.
Oh yeah.
So, like, if you guys don't have good extracurriculars, US takes extracurriculars very
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
right? So you need to have at least a few extracurriculars.
Okay. So what advice would you give to students who right now are, let's just say, sitting in O2 or just started their A1, right? What kind of extracurriculars can they do?
If you're already in old AS and you haven't done any,
Yeah.
start right now. If you're in any college, you are Nixon, Lyceum, Cedar, KGS, wherever you are, take all the opportunities you have. Just fill your extracurricular sheet up, because in US it's very important. I did mine in O2 and O1, so like I don't need to do much in A levels. But if you haven't done anything in O levels, you need to do AS. Not in A2 because that's too late. Anyways, they don't really look at A2 because you apply before A2.
So, because this is a very important subject, should students be doing extracurriculars in terms of like charity or social services or something related to their career?
Yes, I feel like social services, community service, has more importance than sports. Because personally in Pakistan, let's say if you're playing football or basketball,
Yeah,
I mean if you're playing basketball, right? In US, your level will be nothing compared to like the T1
yeah, yeah.
hoopers
That
there.
that is true.
So I feel like charity work, community service work, all of these things have a way higher importance than like.
I think the reason behind that is because when you also play sports and you apply, there are people, when in US you have D1 level, right?
Hmm.
So that is basically almost equivalent to the national level, right? So they expect you to also have a national level from where you're coming from in Pakistan. So
Exactly.
where we are part of cricket football teams over here and showing that in our CVs and our supplementaries and essays, we write that, and it doesn't show much value,
Exactly.
right? So I think it's only if you are a national level player, maybe you represent Pakistan, then that's of importance
Hmm.
in terms of sports. But otherwise, you are completely correct that social services do help because you really can't have too much internship or work experience, right? Like they can't really expect that of you
Exactly.
when you're in A level. So yeah, that definitely does make sense. So when is the university starting? When are you planning to fly off? What's the next steps now for you?
I just need to book an orientation date,
Okay.
and I plan to fly out start of August or end of July.
Okay, okay. So, what last advice before we do conclude this podcast would you give to those who are confused between applying for UK, US? Because that was once you. What advice would you give them, and what closing remark would you give?
Honestly, get a counselor. Don't do it yourself.
Yeah,
It's really confusing. It's really difficult. Your essays need to be perfect, especially for the US. And just get a counselor. Start early. Don't leave to the end moment. And just build your CV up until the deadline date.
yeah. I mean, look, in the end, it's your choice, right? At Empower, we give you the liberty to choose if you even want to avail our services, if you want to go anywhere or not. But in the end, the matter of the fact is that US is a really hard country because we're speaking about US right now. Specifically, we have someone who's in a top 100, top 60 university in the world from US about to go there. So we can say that the application is very strenuous. So it is definitely a genuine thing to say that you can go through a counselor because they will make it so much easier. We have experiences with students in the application process. We can not only simplify it, but also make it better to some degree. So, regardless if you go through a counselor, you don't go through a counselor, you go through us, you don't go through us. I really hope that everyone listening to this can, try to empower themselves abroad, try to start the international journey regardless of wherever they're going. And every week, including this episode, you learn something, you pick up on something. In the end, that's the goal of this entire podcast. So with that, thank you so much, Aman,
Thank you so much.
for being a part of this
No
podcast. It
worries.
was a great time, and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much, and Allah Hafiz.